I want to do a quick video about PTSD, anxiety, depression, suicidal thoughts, complex PTSD. All those things, they all kind of come in the same category of, a mental struggle. And I want to talk a little bit this morning about that. So, my own personal experience. We leave in the RV yesterday. We almost get in a bad accident a mile from the house. I get triggered, and if it wasn't for my wife being there to break that reaction, it could have been an intense situation. Then we find ourselves in southern Missouri and north Arkansas, central Arkansas, and then into southern Missouri, desolate roads, nothing around, no cell phone signal, no medical centers, no way to get a hold of anybody if you need anybody. If we have a problem, we get in a bad accident, when you're far away from help, bad things happen, people die. And so that's yet could be another time that makes me anxious. And between being in those situations, that brought me anxiety and stress. And last night I couldn't sleep. And so I ended up sleeping, but it wasn't until I got up at midnight, pacing back and forth in the RV, and lay back down. My wife rose from back and do some 4, 7, 8 breathing. We breathe in for 4, hold it for a count of 7, breathe out for a count of 8, do that a few times. And it took all that time to calm down to where I could eventually sleep from traveling, a little bit throughout the day. So our reactions in life don't necessarily warrant the reaction that we're giving them. And because we're basing that on our trauma, we're basing that on our anxiety, we're basing that on what we think we need to do in that moment, because we're letting the trauma rule our life, the anxiety rule our life, instead of using your brain and all your intelligence. If you utilize all your intelligence that you gain from the trauma and then weigh that out with what you're doing in the moment, you can take a breath and respond with something better than the trigger. Because most of the time you're triggered for absolutely no reason. What I'm trying to say is, if you are struggling and you're just reacting to things in life, you're going to be stressed, you're going to be anxious, you're going to have problems with depression, maybe with suicidal thoughts. Don't let the trauma rule you. Don't let your anxiety rule you. Take the time to accept all that trauma that happened. And when you see something that triggers you, take a moment and think, do I even need to react? This reminds me, but it only reminds me of the intelligence I gained, and I'll be a better person from here on out. All right, that's all I wanted to say. I'm rambling. That's part of the deal. It's hard to stay focused. It's hard to continue on thought when you got 10 different things going on in your brain at the same time. So you might know how that feels. Just wanted to say that. All right, thanks for watching.